My study, a sanctuary of forgotten knowledge, always hummed with quiet purpose. Today, that purpose centered on an ancient rolled parchment, its edges brittle with age. I, Catherine Hayes, meticulously unrolled the geode map across my large wooden desk, my hazel eyes scanning its faded sepia lines with intense focus. This map was unlike any I had ever encountered. A closer inspection revealed the map's most peculiar feature. Instead of conventional ink, crucial topographical points were marked by finely crushed, shimmering crystalline minerals. These small geode-like formations, sparkling with faint internal light, were adhered directly to the parchment. My fingers, usually so precise, trembled slightly as I gently touched one of the cool, textured markers. This was not merely a map, it was an enigma. My research began immediately, driven by an insatiable intellectual curiosity. I delved into stacks of dusty, forgotten geological journals, some dating back a century. Despite the prevailing scientific consensus, I unearthed a discredited theory from the early 20th century. It proposed that vast subterranean energy sources could sustain unique forms of life and even influence geological structures. This map, I suspected, held the key to validating that long-mocked hypothesis. Combining archaic cartography with modern technology became my next step. I meticulously cross-referenced the geode map's unique markers with high-resolution satellite imagery on my computer. The process was painstaking, but the coordinates slowly converged. A palpable tension filled the room as the final triangulation pointed to an uncharted valley hidden deep within a vast national park. The excitement of discovery surged through me. My next call was to George Bell, the head park ranger. I presented my findings, articulating the scientific anomalies and the potential significance of the valley. On the other end, George listened with a pragmatic, almost skeptical demeanor. He was grounded in tangible reality, unlike my theoretical world. Nevertheless, his professional duty compelled him to agree to a meeting, despite his evident reservations. The following morning, at the park's edge, our two worlds visibly collided. I arrived in practical outdoor gear, my leather satchel bulging with maps and research. George, broad-shouldered and imposing, stood waiting in his crisp National Park Ranger uniform. Our contrasting appearances highlighted the gulf between academic theory and rugged wilderness management. An initial apprehension hung in the air, quickly replaced by professional introductions. We began our trek into the imposing forest, the air thick with the scent of pine and damp earth. George led the way, his movements confident and assured, navigating the familiar terrain with practiced ease. I followed closely, frequently unrolling the geode map, comparing its unique markers to the unfolding landscape. The journey was challenging, pushing my physical limits, but my intellectual pursuit kept me driven forward. Our progress was abruptly halted by a deep gorge, spanned by the remnants of a washed-out bridge. The wooden planks lay splintered below, making passage impossible. A wave of frustration washed over me, but George remained unfazed. He quickly assessed the situation, his eyes scanning the steep, overgrown slopes. With a determined nod, he pointed to an alternative, albeit more difficult route down into the gorge and up the other side. Deeper into the valley, the environment began to subtly shift. I noticed it first, faint ethereal glows emanating from the bark of ancient trees. "George, look," I whispered, pointing to a patch of moss that pulsed with a soft, otherworldly blue light. This bioluminescent flora was entirely foreign to any known species native to this region. His expression, initially stoic, softened into one of genuine intrigue. George pulled a rugged handheld device from his pack, his curiosity now piqued. He powered it on, the small screen flickering to life. The device immediately registered a low-frequency, anomalous energy reading, far beyond any natural background radiation. His skepticism, a constant companion since our meeting, visibly faded from his face. A look of profound surprise replaced it, validating my unconventional theories. Following the map's crystalline indication, we pressed deeper into the valley, the roar of the waterfall growing louder with each step. Suddenly, the air grew cooler, mist-laden. George pointed. There it was, exactly as the map suggested. Behind a thick curtain of cascading water, a dark, jagged opening appeared, perfectly concealed. My heart pounded with a mixture of vindication and profound anticipation. Inside the cave, the air hung heavy and damp, carrying the earthy scent of wet rock and ancient minerals. Our headlamps cut through the gloom, revealing glistening stalactites and stalagmites. As I unrolled the geode map, a soft, ethereal glow emanated from its crystalline markers. The quartz and fluoride fragments, once inert, pulsed with a gentle, steady light, reacting to the cavern's unique atmosphere. It was a truly wondrous sight, confirming the map's extraordinary nature. Guided by our headlamps and the map's persistent glow, we navigated a narrow, winding passage. The air grew cooler, denser, and the silence was broken only by the drip of water and our own cautious footsteps. The passage felt claustrophobic, pressing in on us from all sides, yet the glowing map propelled us forward. George, despite his initial skepticism, moved with a quiet determination, trusting my interpretation of the map's illuminated path. The passage opened into a circular chamber, its floor paved with large, ancient flagstones, each intricately carved. The map, now glowing more intensely, displayed a complex sequence of illuminated points correlating precisely with the flagstones. I traced the pattern with my finger, then directed George, explaining the specific order. He moved carefully, stepping onto each stone as instructed, his movements precise and measured, our cooperation seamless. As George pressed the final stone in the sequence, a deep, resonant grinding sound echoed through the chamber, vibrating through the very rock beneath our feet. A massive section of the stone wall, seamlessly integrated into the chamber, began to slowly, inexorably slide inward. From the newly revealed opening, a brilliant, pulsating light spilled forth, bathing the chamber in an otherworldly glow. We stood, breathless, on the threshold of something truly extraordinary. We stepped into a colossal cavern, a space so vast our headlamps were rendered insignificant. In its heart, a magnificent crystalline formation, at least 50 feet tall, pulsed with soft internal light. This was the resonating core, cycling through shades of blue and green, illuminating a vibrant alien ecosystem. Bioluminescent flora glowed from every surface, creating an ethereal, breathtaking landscape unlike anything known on Earth. I stared at the resonating core, my vision blurring. Years of solitary research, dismissed theories, and unwavering conviction culminated in this moment. Tears of vindication and profound wonder welled in my eyes, finally spilling over. Beside me, George, the pragmatic park ranger, simply stood speechless. His weathered face was slack with disbelief, his worldview completely shattered by the magnificent reality before him. After the initial shock, a shared sense of purpose settled between us. We moved with a quiet reverence, our scientific instincts taking over. I carefully sketched the unique bioluminescent flora, meticulously noting their forms and colors. George, with his ranger's eye, assessed the cavern's geological stability, taking readings and examining rock formations. We worked as a true team, documenting this unparalleled discovery. Hours later, back at the cave entrance, the outside world seemed almost mundane. We looked at each other, a profound understanding passing between us without words. We both knew this place needed protection, not exploitation. My ambition, once solely intellectual, had evolved into a deep sense of responsibility. George, ever the guardian of the wilderness, simply nodded in solemn agreement. Weeks later, in the quiet solitude of my study, George and I reviewed our meticulously gathered data. The geode map lay on the polished oak table between us, its crystalline markers now inert, its glow gone. We shared a quiet smile, a silent acknowledgement of the shared secret, the profound discovery. Our mutual respect, forged in the depths of that hidden cavern, was now a steadfast bond.
Si te gustó el video, suscríbete y activa la campanita.